Hello everyone, this is Catherine from Train Up a Child Homeschooling, and today I would like to do a flip through of the Primary Mathematics 2022 3A. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to show you first the student book. I really like this page because it tells you exactly what to expect from the student book. So you're always going to start with your chapter opener, which contains a picture that shows how math is all around you. You're going to look at the picture and talk about how useful math is in daily life. So that's great. You know, it really teaches the student like, okay, why do we do math? Why is this important? So that's amazing. I love that. It also has a task which links what you know to what you will learn. Explore a way using objects or pictures and discuss creative ways to solve it with classmates. Then they have a learn section, which teaches you how to solve the task. So the learn section, that's usually where the lesson begins. It'll also have like an activity lesson or an activity portion to the lesson. So it's something more hands-on, things like that. Then it'll have here the learn together. So this is how you teach your child and you do the work with your child, or at least that's how they expect you to do it. And then they have your practice on your own pages. So it's independent practice. This is the table of contents for 3A. So 3A only covers the first like half of the school year. And then to get the rest of the half, you would have to get 3B. But I don't have 3B. I only have 3A so far because we're trying it out. That's the chapter opener, and then you continue, and then there's a recall section right here, which is review of, just reviewing things that your child should already know. And then this is where the actual lesson begins. Here's something cool. They have little check boxes here so the child can, they can check off what they have learned. And then here is where they have the actual lesson. This is where the lesson begins. So it'll have some questions. And then here you usually have to cover the bottom part. So that way, first you ask these questions, you cover this, you ask these questions to see if the child can figure it out without the help of the book. Okay? So there's no right or wrong answer. This is just to test how fast they are, or just to test how much of the concept they already know. And then you uncover this and you do it together. And this is the learn together section. So this is, this is all part of the lesson. This is you teaching your child. So you're going down each question, just going down, doing it with your child. I really like this because, with BJU, when you did the lesson, I had to get like manipulatives and, a dry erase board and a marker because, the lesson questions weren't written down. I had to write them down myself. They were just in the teacher's guide. So I couldn't really, show the teacher's guide to my student because it was just like, it was nothing big like this. It was just like written down in like small black letters, in the midst of a whole paragraph. So I really like that, I don't really have to get anything extra. I mean, of course, there are the manipulatives, which the curriculum does recommend that you use. But besides that, I don't have to get like a dry erase board, get a marker, or get all these other things. It's already here. Everything that I need to teach them is like, it's a textbook. So it's already here for me. So I really like that. And of course, since this is a textbook and a workbook combined, then the child can write on this because it is a consumable. Okay, so that up to here would be your lesson. This is your lesson. And then here they have practice on your own. So this would be the independent practice. So it's definitely totally up to you how you would like to divide this because it is pretty long. You have the recall, you have this. So, I mean, if you want to divide this into 2-3 days, you totally can. I hear a lot of parents do that, which is, I think if I do this whole big lesson with my child, I would probably, split it up a little bit. But we'll see. But that's totally up to you. You have the freedom as a homeschool parent to do as you wish. This would be the continuation. So lesson number 2. So like I said, this is the beginning of the lesson, which always starts with a question. You cover the bottom. You say what's going on here and see if they can figure it out on their own. And then you remove this and do it together. This is the learn together. This is you teaching the child. And then the independent practice. Continue. And then also every so often they'll have these things that are called performance tasks. Or this worksheet, should I say. And then this worksheet is more like to compare math to everyday life. So, you know, this particular worksheet is about company ship boxes of goods in containers. So it's like a, you know, word problem about something that would happen in everyday life. Here the student gets to grade themselves if they really tried their best, if they showed little work, or if they're mostly accurate, or, you know, things like that. And then here they can kind of like journal about what they learned in the lesson, or maybe something else that has to do of how they spent their time during the lesson. Here, every few chapters or so, I think they have like about 2 or 3 per semester, I'm not sure. They have these theme projects, so that this involves some research and things like that. It's like a project. So I'm just gonna, if you want to take a look and read through that, you can. Okay, and then, oh yeah, here's the chapter practice. So it's like a review. I guess you can even use it as a test. I probably would use it as a test because it goes over the whole chapter. So it's just like a cumulative review of the whole chapter. Okay, and then you go to your next chapter, and then you have your chapter opener, a really large illustration of something that has to do with, you know, with everyday life, of math in everyday life. And then at the beginning of every chapter, they'll have the recall, which is a review of something your child should already know. And that's at the beginning of every chapter. Okay. So that's the lesson, practice, independent practice. Lesson, independent practice. Oh no. Still lesson, independent practice. Okay. So you see, some independent practices are very short. Some of them are longer than others. Okay. So I'm just going to skip through the book a little bit more. Feel free to pause. Sorry about that. My mother is outside talking to my son. Seems like he's eating too many chips. Alrighty, let's skip through a little bit more. Division. I'm not excited about this. Okay, skip through a little bit more. So I really love the illustrations and the colors. I know that out of all the primary mathematics, most of them after 2nd grade, there's no more color in them. It's just like a 2-tone color. But the primary mathematics 2022, it is color. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I know that the primary mathematics, the which one is it? I think the Common Core. I think that one is in color. Or I don't know if it's that one or some other one. I don't know. I forgot. It's the one that's for California. Okay. So that was 3A for the first half of the school year. Now this is additional practice book that you can do. There's an additional practice worksheet for every lesson. This is just something optional, something you would have to buy separately. Okay, and the teacher's guide will tell you exactly when to use this. Well, you can kind of figure it out because it matches up with the lesson number. Okay, this book is in black and white, the additional practice book. So this book would definitely come in handy during those lessons that doesn't provide much independent practice. So I'm definitely going to be pulling this out. Okay. And then there's the Mastery and Beyond, which is kind of like additional practice. Sorry about that. But it's more advanced, more challenging. And this one is in full color. And this is also an additional purchase you would have to make unless you buy the kit. I think if you buy the kit, it might include all of these. I'm not sure. I bought this used. All of these books I have bought used except for the student workbook. That one I did buy new. But everything else I bought used. But, you know, it hasn't, you know, it doesn't have any writing in it. And also the teacher's guide will tell you exactly when to pull this out if you want to. Because this one might be a little complicated to know exactly which practice is for what lesson. Because it doesn't actually say. It just says practice 5. I'm like, okay, what practice? You see, it just says the grade, practice 5. So this one, unless you know exactly which worksheet is for what, you would, you would probably be a little confused as to which one of these is for what lesson. Okay. And then this is the Home Instructor's Guide. It is in black and white. They also have a teacher's guide, which is more geared towards a classroom setting. But it has a lot of extras that you do as the student, as the homeschooler parent wouldn't need. So I just thought that was very unnecessary to have this big bulky book with a lot of extras I don't need. So I just went with the Home Instructor's Guide. The teacher's guide, the one that's geared for, this is the table of contents. Let me put it in the beginning. The teacher's guide also has a lot of the activities in the teacher's guide is geared towards classroom settings. So I just definitely opted out of getting that one. And I prefer the Home Instructor's Guide. Not only is it more affordable, but it also has things that more apply to the homeschool parent. Okay, so this will be the chapter overview. This page right here is for you as the teacher to explain to you the concept, to explain to you how to teach it. So this is something for you to review if you need, assistance with that. And then down here, it'll tell you the materials that you would need for this chapter. You don't have to use the manipulatives if you don't want to. That's just something that you can do extra if you wish. I know some students don't really care for using manipulatives. I know my son really, he doesn't really care for that. But if you did want to use it, it's great because it already, it helps you. Okay, so then this would be day 1 of 11. So I guess maybe that's how many days it should take you to finish this chapter. So it's chapter opener, which will be on page 1, like I already showed you. Is the really big illustration page that has like how to use math in your everyday life. So it would be this one. So this talks about like what type of questions you can ask while you look at this chapter opener, and you can pause that so you can read it. I don't want to make this too long. Here they have some teaching tips. This is the recall, which it's there at the beginning of every chapter. There's a recall review worksheets. Tells you exactly where to find it, page 2 to 4. So this is page 2, 3, and 4 would be the recall review pages. Okay, it also tells you what materials to use if you want to make it more hands-on. Okay, it also gives you some tips there on how to teach the recall. Okay, then here they'll have the homeschooler appropriate activity that the other guide doesn't have as much. And then also these are some questions that you can ask yourself to assess your student after the review. And then here they also have additional support if your child needs it or if you want to dig deeper. Okay. And then on the right hand side, on the gray, like the light gray, you'll have your answers. From the pages 2 to 4, these will be your answers. Okay, so you don't get confused. Answered question number 1, 326, that would be for this. Sorry about that, for this one. And then you see how question number 2 has 2 answers. It has an A and a B answer. So that's what it has here, an A and a B for question 2, and so on. See here, question number 9, well, it's multiple choice, so that'll have just the answer, option D. But you see how question number 8 has A, B, C, D. That's because here on question number 8, there's multiple answers. So that's what that is, just in case. Okay, and then this is the beginning of the actual lesson, which you should start on day 2. Learning objectives, vocabulary, and the materials if you want to make it more hands-on. The lesson opener. So the lesson opener would be this. It's always the illustration. So we have our chapter opener, which is the full page illustration. And then we have our lesson opener, which is like, you know, not like a full page illustration. It's more like, you know, like a section here and a section there. Okay, that would be your lesson opener. And for that one, you usually have to cover the bottom part when you first ask the question, and then you uncover it. Okay, and then lesson development. Learn. This is where the, you know, you continue. This is where you begin the lesson. Well, you really begin it here. And then you continue. Here it has some tips for the teacher. Learn together, which would be this page. Learn together. And this is, you know, this is pretty much the textbook. You're doing the textbook with your child. It is a consumable book, so feel free to write on it. Learn together, learn together. This is the lesson. You're doing the lesson with your child. He has another activity towards the end. I believe he has an activity for every lesson. The previous activity was for the recall. This is an activity for the actual lesson, for the new concept. Okay? And then on the right-hand side, it has the answers for pages 6 to 8. So it would be this one, page 6 to page 8. This would be the answers for this. And then your student goes into independent practice, practice on your own. Okay, and then the answers for that would be in the following page, practice on your own answers. Okay. And these are questions. These are questions that have to do with each question that's on the practice on your own page. Okay, so these are things that you as the parent should be observing. Like for question number 1, assess your student's ability to write the value of each digit in a 4-digit number by counting the place value chips. So that's something that you should be assessing as they're doing question number 1. Okay, which is that one. Which, I mean, I think, like, I mean, if that's independent practice, I'm not trying to stay right next to them watching them do it. You know, that's just something they do on their own while I do school with my other child. So I don't think we're going to be doing that. Okay, and lesson debrief. Okay, conclude the lesson and facilitate your student's reflection by asking him or her to answer the focus question. Okay, so this would be the focus question. When is the name of a digit the same as its place value? And then what's in italics would be the answer. And what's on bold is what you would ask them. And then on the next page, there's also another think section right here, which is also on the workbook. Think. Okay, I believe this is kind of like a deeper, like more challenging question. And then it's the answer for that is right there. Okay, additional support. And then also here, this is where it tells you exactly where to go if you want to do more additional practice. It tells you to go to additional practice 3A book, exercise 1A. If you want to do Master and Beyond, you go to Master and Beyond 3A, chapter 1, practice 1. If you have the other books like Reteach or Extensions, which are additional books you can get for extra practice, extra mastery, then it tells you exactly where to go as well. Okay? And then here is if you want to do more, if you want to just do a lot of stuff, because you have so much time in your hands. Alrighty. So this is the teacher's guide. We're really excited to use this. This is our first time trying a new math curriculum in our past like 5 years of homeschool. We have been faithful BJU math family, just math, really. Math, we have used their Bible also curriculum before. But it's just our first time just trying something new. So we're really excited, and I feel like this is going to be a good fit for us. Okay. Now, if you want to purchase like for the remaining of the semester, then you would pretty much have to buy all these books again, but for 3B instead of 3A. And this would apply to all the grades, to grades, 1 to all the way to their last one. I don't know about kindergarten. I think for kindergarten as well. But, oh yeah, here it also has a STEAM project. So this here explains to the parent how to do it. Okay. So yeah, you would definitely have to buy this again. You can try to get a good deal and buy it used, or you can buy, they sell a whole kit that has 3A and 3B all together. So you don't have to be like shopping around if that's easier for you, okay? Well, I hope you guys liked my flip through. If you did, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. I have more videos coming up soon. I'm going to be uploading my 2023 to 2024 first grade and third grade kindergarten choices. And I love to upload more videos as well that have anything to do with homeschooling and God and life as a school mom. So please check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. God bless you.